Sometimes I feel like it's just easier to learn while seeing someone else actually work through a project. And so I'm going to work through this image really quickly to remove blemishes and wrinkles. So I'm just going to zoom in here to get closer to this. This is the profile pic JPEG that we've used before. We can zoom in here pretty far. This is at 100%. So say we want to get rid of this, looks like a freckle right there. And I say all this and I do this with a grain of salt. I typically don't like retouching a lot of photos because I think people in their natural state are beautiful themselves and I don't want to get rid of blemishes. But whenever I create Photoshop tutorials or lessons, I always get the question, how do I remove those blemishes? How do I get rid of pimples? So I'm going to teach you how to do it. So I'm just going to double click that layer, create a copy. Then I'm going to go over to my healing brush, my spot healing brush tool. Then I'm just going to click right there on that pimple. Bam, disappears, easily disappears. So that's just a quick way to get rid of those pimples or anything like that. Now, if we want to get rid of some of these wrinkles, we can go in right here and just paint over some of those wrinkles. Now, we're not going to get rid of all of these guys' wrinkles, and I don't think we should, but we can just use the spot healing brush to get rid of some of those wrinkles, especially under the eye right here. You might have to go over a few times so that it blends well. This can also help, brighten up underneath the eye where it can be a little bit darker. You might not want that. So here I'm getting rid of some of his wrinkles, looking pretty good. Might come in here, just do the same right about here, just smooths out the skin just a little bit right there. Maybe just do one pass under the eye just to see what happens. That one didn't really work out so well. Maybe got to make my brush a little bit smaller, something like there. You got to be careful though, because you can tell that as I do this, some of this stuff looks like I'm blurring out his face, and I don't want his face to look like it's blurred out. I don't want it to look blurry, but it can help just a little bit if you are trying to get rid of some of those wrinkles that you don't want. So let me just go take a couple more passes along these edges and the lines in his face. Let me just take a big pass right there. Nope, don't like that. So now if I turn this on and off, what a difference that makes. And if I zoom out, you can see that it's actually does a pretty good job at removing those wrinkles, and it looks fairly natural. If you would have seen this photo first, probably would have never even thought that this photo was different and he had more wrinkles. Let's open up another photo. We're going to open up this face photo and just show you how this works on a different one. So opening up face.jpg and just adding this to a new layer. And I'm just going to zoom in right here, get some of these lines on the edge of her eye using that spot healing brush again. I like the spot healing brush for these kinds of effects and these kinds of retouching. You can see that it does a really good job as I just paint over. It does a really good job at just removing those lines. Let's get a little bit bigger of a brush right here. This is going to be a little bit tricky because her eyelashes are right there. Let's see how it does it. Does a pretty good job. It sees that those eyelashes are there and it works around those eyelashes. That's one thing that Photoshop has gotten a lot better at, is seeing where those eyelashes are or other objects are and not affecting those, but still getting rid of the wrinkles. So let me just zoom out so we can see what this does. On, off, on, off. Pretty darn good. So that's how you use the spot healing brush to remove pimples, blemishes, and wrinkles from your photos. We could even go in here, just do a couple quick spot healing brushes. Let me just take that. It was J on my keyboard. Just a couple little minor pimples right there. Just getting some of those pimples that she might not want in the final photo. Zoomed out, turn on, off. On, off. We'll let her be the judge which she wants to use. I think she's beautiful in both photos. Same with this guy. Beautiful guy, great beard, great eyes, and we'll let him decide if he wants this photo or that photo. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in another tutorial.